Even though soya sauce is not the main component of a dish, but I think it's something that is complementary, and I think it gives a soul to a dish. The Kwong Cheong Thye is a soya sauce factory. Our flagship product is soya sauce, and of course we do other food manufacturing products as well, like chili sauces, oyster sauce. We make noodles, we make mooncakes, we make seasonal yu shang as well, the one that we toss during Chinese New Year. KCT is a 5th-generation brand. We are 133 years old, but we strive to put ourselves as a professional brand. Of course, heritage, values, they play a part in our business. They play a part in all our the building of our character and how we run the business. But other than that, I think we keep up with trends. We try to innovate. We try to be as modern as we can to be able to sustain in this environment. In our business, we do food manufacturing, we sell our products, we build a brand. Maybe the past 20-30 years, I think one of the key trends was for Singaporean companies to internationalize, to be able to export, to sell more over the world. We are in 30 countries right now, 30 markets. And I think that's one of the trend that we had to follow and had to do to survive and prosper. Of course, I think in the past decade, we talk more about Industry 4.0, and now we are going more into manufacturing execution system. It's really to make our manufacturing more efficient using automation, AI, and I think we started early. Our soya sauce factory, the new one, will be over 90% automated, and I think that's something that is essential for SMEs like us to be efficient and of course to make our consistent product. The three main ingredients for soya sauce making, right, is soya beans, wheat flour, and koji, which is our starter bacteria. We have our own strain of koji that we always cultivate for every single batch. We do not use full-fat soya beans. Our soya beans are defatted, so the oil is removed from India, non-GMO beans. We remove the layer of oil and then it affects less of the fermentation. And even our wheat flour, we do not buy flour directly, we buy wheat. We roast the wheat to the protein and ash level that we want, then we crush them into flour and use it. So after that, we put these three ingredients together in a big solid state, dry fermentation room with different temperature range, and then we will put it there for 3 days. And during these 3 days, the purpose is for the koji to ferment and to grow and multiply. So that's the most important part of the fermentation. Yeah, so after these 3 days is passed, we will put them into a fermentation tank, a fiberglass fermentation tank, and then it will be there for 6 months. Of course, in the past, the people, my grandfather used to mix the fermentation every day, but now we use pipes with air to make them homogeneous. We do it twice a week, and after the 6 months, we will press out the soya sauce and we will filter it with a kind of like a cheesecloth, like a cloth. Filter it so the mash becomes liquid. The liquid is soy sauce. We still cook it further. We cook it with different ingredients for the different grades of soya sauce. And for dark soya sauce, we burn caramel, we burn sugar to make caramel, and we mix them with light soya sauce to make dark soya sauce. Right? Actually, Singapore's temperature is slightly too warm for soya sauce fermentation. It's at a temperature that the bacteria, the koji, can actually die. Now we don't ferment outdoors, even though we keep to the heritage, the tradition to ferment for 6 months, but we don't do them outdoors anymore because the sun might be too sunny, might be too hot. Rainy days might affect the fermentation as well. And so over here we can see our fermentation tanks. These tanks are about 17.5 meters tall, and each of them can hold about 120 tons of soya sauce. We have 39 of them here in our new facility, and it's about 6 times more than our current capacity. So these are all made with fiberglass. The material is fiberglass. We can't use any metals because rust will eat into the metals because of the salt content of soy sauce. So these fiberglass tanks are all custom made for us. The soy sauce will be in here for 6 months. We have to pasteurize the sauce, evaporate the alcohol, and of course we add other ingredients like sugar, water, maybe a little bit of salt for different brew to cater to a different range of soya sauce. We have to evaporate the alcohol because we are a halal soya sauce brand. Alcohol is naturally fermented, naturally occurred through fermentation. even though soya sauce is not the main component of a dish, but I think it's something that is complementary, and I think it gives a soul to a dish. So it's very important for us to keep it consistent. But having said that, being an onophile myself, I love wines, and I love how wines are made. We actually brought in some barrels. After fermentation, I aged my soya sauce in oak and acacia barrel for 1 more year, and that is something slightly different and unique that we try to push to, we try to create for the chefs and for our Jewel store. We have a store in Jewel, and it's a limited brew lah. So every year we have a number of bottles of this special brew. So it's one is oak barrel aged and one is acacia barrel aged, and that's for that we may have a different taste every vintage. Since 2022 we are growing about 10% every year. Singapore is very saturated, right? And we have, of course, we have F&B openings, but we have F&B outlets closing as well. I think economy is not doing very well for food and beverage businesses. But of course, what's contributing to our annual growth is exports. We surpassed 50% exports already compared to our local sales. And with the new facility, we are trying to push our export sales to 80%, and the 20% will be local sales. So we're actively looking for new markets. A lot of developing markets. I think those are tricky to enter, but for us they are important because a lot of markets that we entered 20-30 years ago, they were developing, and we had the innovator advantage. China is our largest export market. Our second largest market is UAE in the Middle East. Yeah, and third is Japan. We entered the Chinese market more than 30 years ago. Yeah, and when we entered the Chinese market, they do not have dark soya sauce. They do have dark soya sauce, they call it lao chou, but their lao chou is actually fermented longer. So a standard bottle of soya sauce is fermented for 4 to 6 months. Their lao chou is fermented for 18 months. But they do not have the lao chou that the Southeast Asian country has. So in Singapore, we burn cane sugar for caramel, and we mix it with our soya sauce, and then that's our dark soya sauce. In Malaysia, some of them use maltos. In Indonesia, you have your kicap manis, which are slightly sweeter with I think it's palm sugar. So we first entered through Hong Kong into the Guangzhou area, and Cantonese cooking, there's a lot of braising, there's a lot of soya sauce involved. So that's where we started, and then we kind of get a first mover advantage because other Southeast Asian soya sauce brand hasn't entered China yet. Something that we always try to do is adapt. I think that's very important. I can't go to Japan or China to tell them to eat chili crab every day, Hainanese chicken rice every day. So what we always do is adapt. An example is our Filipino customer. They came back to us and told us our oyster sauce and soy sauce, they are a bit tasteless. So they say the hotel chefs, they thought that they want something stronger in flavor, slightly sweeter, slightly saltier. And for us, it's fine, we'll do that, just for you. And we will adapt our products, even though it's Kwong Cheong Thye, the Singaporean brand, to your Filipino flavor, to what you want. So we did that, and the sales started to pick up again. Our current product range is almost all lower in sodium already. We can meet the Nutri-Grade. Even before the Nutri-Grade announcement, we already have these products for our soya sauce. So why do we need soya sauce to be very salty in the past? It's because the salt acts as a natural preservative to prevent the soya sauce from spoiling. The barrier of entry for food manufacturing is pretty low. Of course, having said that, soya sauce is not so easy to make, so we wouldn't worry so much about the soya sauce part. But of course, there are many other brands, soya sauce brand, coming into Singapore, so that may affect us. We continue with our hotels, our restaurants, with trade events, marketing events. We can host them, let them know that we have new products. We always open our factory. We always allow them to come and do staff bonding. I think that's very important because they know how the sauce is made. They know where this sauce is made, and they know every single thing that we are doing to make this sauce consistent, make this sauce of a high quality for them. So that's something that we always do. And actually even for consumers, recently we opened up our factory as well for some customers from a restaurant group. I think the older generation, they are like, these are secret, these are things that we shouldn't share with people, how we make soya sauce. But for us, I think the world is very open. If anyone wants to learn how to make a soya sauce and they can set up something, I think go for it.